On February 9, 1986, 29 computer technicians walked out of a Comelec tabulation center to protest the manipulation of election results to favor then-President Ferdinand Marcos. By doing that, the tabulators put their lives in great danger, and the only way they could stay alive was to hide. During these turbulent times, Sister Amelia David, a young missionary sister of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, was the provincial superior of the Demister residence, a seminar house. One evening she received a call.
This priest who knew me called me up around 8 o'clock at night to say that they needed help and they needed to move in people who are being sought by the military. So I told him, you come here and we will talk it over. So they came in the middle of the night, not really, at around 9 o'clock. He came with some friends. And then they explained to me. And they told me who these people are who are looking for shelter.
At that time, there was a seminar going on at the residence, and Sister Amelia had to look for another place where the tabulators could hide. She called a friend of hers, then Brother Tito Caluwag, a Jesuit scholastic.
So I called him at night and I said, Brother, there is a need to house some people who are being hunted. Now, I want to help them, but I do not know where we can put them.
So I had to ask, of course, the provincial, who was then Father Ben Nebres, and of course I had to get his go signal, and then our rector was Father Rene C. Ocampo. Anyway, long story short, so we were ready.
Before the tabulators were brought to the Loyola House of Studies, Sister Amelia, Brother Caluwag, and some Jesuits made a plan to make sure the tabulators would be safe in the Loyola House, including an escape plan in case of military raid.
So they finally came in after lunch. I can't remember now what exact date, but Sister Amelia was the one who worked that out. And I guess from that time on, we were partners in crime. So on all of that was, of course, Sister Amelia was our producer, director, and but she was really, Sister Amelia was very quiet, very low-key, but very firm. That's how she is. When she pushes something, it's very clear. We better do this. It's not a question. Very often it's a command. Of course, she believed very much in what we were doing that time. It was really, at that time it was really, all of a sudden a new sense of hope for the country. And for her, it was no questions asked. It was something that she needed to be very dedicated to. And she was unbelievable, her connections, and friendships, her friendships with all the right people that we needed to work with. It was really unbelievable. So then you realize when you look back, because here was a woman who had spent her life really service, and no personal agenda whatsoever. That's why I think her in a sense her contacts and her relationships with people are very, very good, because they realize that here is a woman who will never ask anything for herself.
There was no intention to do anything heroic, nothing. It was just responding to the need of the moment that we tried to do what we can at that time as we saw it fit.
The walkout of the tabulators was one of the early sparks that ignited what would later be known as the People Power Revolution, or EDSA Revolution. On the first day of the revolution, Sister Amelia was one of the first of the religious that trooped to Camp Crame, bringing food and joining the barricade that protected the rebels.
I really never felt afraid, really, during that time. I don't know why I was never afraid, because I think part of it was, at that time, well, I was also much younger, no? And I was so sure that, to myself, it was something like, if this is the work of God, He will protect us. To my mind, no? He will protect us. And if He will protect us, Why do I have to worry?
This fearlessness, founded on her unwavering faith in the protection of God, enabled her to work in the most dangerous of places, such as the once strife-torn Mindanao. In 1991, she was sent to Zamboanga del Sur by her congregation in response to the invitation of Bishop Tobias for the members to live among the Muslims and engage them in dialogue. Sister Amelia became the superintendent of Pagadian's diocesan schools. She went about rehabilitating the 16 diocesan schools by making them financially stable, revamping the curriculum, and conducting teacher training, among others. But her work went beyond the realm of education. Sister Amelia never forgot that she was there to help bring about peace between the Muslims and Christians. She linked up with the Office of the Presidential Assistant on the Peace Process and organized peace-building seminars among the Muslims, Subanen, and Christians, particularly educators, the youth, and religious leaders. While the peace seminars were successful, Sister Amelia knew that lasting peace could not be achieved through peace seminars. She believed education would be a more effective tool. She made the school inclusive by obtaining scholarships from Muslim and Subanen children and integrated peace education in their curriculum, from kindergarten to college.
The more I worked on it, the more I saw the value of establishing a culture of peace from grade school among the children. Because among the learnings I found, children do not have biases with one another.
Sister Amelia knows that there is more work for her to do as a church woman, educator, peacemaker. And we know that she will keep at it and even go beyond what is asked of her.
I think that's what accounts for her, for as Ignatius would say, of the greatness of her soul. That consistency of values, of what she feels God has asked her to do to make this world a better place.